Well, I was thinking about getting back into hunting this year, and what better way to prep myself than to simulate the experience virtually. Enter Mathews bow hunting for the Wii. Stalk, strike, and retrieve a variety of wild game with the world's most innovative bow technology. Prove your stealthy tactics and reign over your rivals as Master Bow Hunter. Rated T for violence and also violence. That's more violence than I even know what to do with. Oh, and there's customizable bows. You know I love some customization. Alright, so apparently there's like this Wii Motion Plus peripheral I've never heard of that allows you to like hold the Wiimote vertically or something, but I'm not investing in it. The standard Wiimote should work well enough. Anyway, let's just jump right into it. Let's do some hunting. Technically, this would be the reverse of how I would draw a bow, but, you know. I like the concept. Strain? What strain? That's a compound bow. It'd be one thing if you were hunting with a traditional recurve bow, however, your character is using a compound bow. For those who don't know, a compound bow has these wheels on them that are known as cams, which actually sort of lock into place in a sense when you draw back the string, allowing a shooter to hold that bow at full draw, almost like indefinitely. And it's also what allows a compound bow to shoot a projectile with so much power and accuracy at such great distances. That's why they are the go-to choice for bow hunters today. But the amount of time you have to actually aim down the sights in this game is minimal at best. Like, it's so short before you start wavering around like you're on a boat. It's probably because of how unhealthy your character is. Listen to that breathing. This is just almost unplayable for me. Like, nature noises and maybe an optional low-key acoustic fingerstyle soundtrack would have been great, but no. The sound designers were like, hey, let's just stick in some excessive breathing instead and just crank that up to 10. Alright, cut. You got that? Great, let's go get lunch. Alright, so where's this freaking turkey anyway? You know, it'd be a lot nicer if you could actually move around and stalk prey rather than sit in a blind and wait for something to come ambling along. It's one thing in real life when you're sitting in a tree stand or in a blind and you can catch up on some reading, you enjoy the fresh air and the silence of the woods, and in the end there's a real life reward for your patience. But not in a game, and specifically not in this game. I'm just annoyed, I'm impatient. This dude's breathing is going to drive me insane long before the big brown blob of pixels that is a turkey comes along. Oh, and speaking of which, alright, so you have to hit the A button to enter aiming mode, and then you actually draw the Wiimote back like it's an actual bowstring, which I admit is pretty cool. Fuck, that was a wide miss. Ah, come on. Wow, this is annoyingly hard. But you know what's making this so hard? I have no indication as to the trajectory and the subsequent flight path of my arrow. I have no gauge of the distance or at what point my arrow begins to drop. Furthermore, when I draw back my string and zoom in, I lose my target, which I have to recenter on, and by the time I find the target again, I have mere seconds left to let loose my arrow before I start bobbing around uncontrollably from the strain. There's actually a target practice mode, which is incredibly useful and frankly a hell of a lot more fun to play, and I highly recommend you do this first. And after a short while, you do actually start to get a hang of the controls and the game becomes quite easy. Like, too easy. Like, I don't feel like finishing these challenges because, I don't know, I just don't. It's not that great. Because they're not that challenging, they're just, I don't know. Well, maybe I'll be more into this if I customize my bow. Let's go check out those customization options, see if we can personalize this experience a bit more. And wow, they really oversold the customization options. You get to choose from like 3 or 4 different bow and or arrow colors, and that's it. Where are the different sights and stabilizers? What about different bow weights or grains for the arrowheads? Look, I quote, With customizable technology from Mathews, you can create the bow and arrow of your dreams. Gee, you think they exaggerated a bit? You know what the bow of my dreams is? A bare black maple takedown recurve with that red stripe in it. Certainly not this. Not any of this. You can also choose to play as a male or female character, but you never, ever see your character, and the breathing sounds are the exact same. So what the fuck is the point? You know, there are so many games out there with some great bow and arrow physics, and I know that this is a 2010 title, but Sports Champions for the PS3 came out that same year, and it is far superior in regards to using the bow. You know, I do give this game props for what it tried to achieve, and for its time, it may not have been a terrible option. But I'm sure there are some better options available today, and maybe it'll be fun to check those out at some point. As for this game, well, let's just say it's certainly no trophy.